The holiday weekend is here, and it's starting with a smoky sky, but will end with some rain. We'll have the timeline and look ahead to the 4th ahead.
I think the court misinterpreted the Constitution.
And tonight on Connecticut's news station, the Supreme Court rejects President Biden's student loan relief plan. Find out about his new plan to forgive debt and how today's ruling affects Connecticut borrowers.
Also, the 4th of July celebration already underway for many in our state. Find out where you can have some patriotic fun this holiday weekend and how police are trying to keep our roads safe.
Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And we begin tonight on the Weather Watch. We are expecting a dry start to the 4th of July holiday weekend, but it probably won't stay that way. Good evening, I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Jen Bernstein. Thank you so much for joining us. A muggy, hazy summer night out there as we head into the 4th of July holiday weekend.
And you may have noticed smoke in the air, especially this evening, but that's not from fireworks. Meteorologist Ryan Breton joins us now with a forecast. Ryan, what is it?
Yeah, Brent and Jen, it's not the type of smoke we like on this holiday weekend. Air quality is low because of Canadian wildfire smoke that's come in from the west, and it's been an issue for off and on the last month. But tonight the air quality is considered unhealthy in all of the western part of the state and unhealthy for sensitive groups in the eastern part of the state. This has actually improved a little bit over 4 or 5 hours ago. You can kind of see where this plume of smoke has been, but it's actually starting to retreat. So tomorrow there will still be a little bit of smoke, but it probably won't be to the thickness that we saw out there this afternoon. So the air quality alert has been extended through the day tomorrow for all of the state. As I mentioned, the air quality won't be quite as bad tomorrow, but it will be noticeable that there's some smoke and haze at times. 73 right now in Hartford, 72 in New Haven. We have a pretty good day on the way tomorrow. It may start out with some patches of fog, especially near and along the shoreline, then a mix of sun and clouds, hazy at times with that smoke, but temps back into the mid-80s. Sunday is cooler, cloudier with a chance for showers. We'll talk about that and look ahead to some heat next week coming up.
All right, thank you, Ryan. A huge decision from the Supreme Court on its final day before summer break, a ruling wiping out President Joe Biden's debt forgiveness plan.
Despite today's ruling, though, President Biden says he's going to move forward with his plan to provide relief for millions of borrowers. In a 6-3 decision, the conservative majority said the Biden administration oversteps its authority and needed Congress to approve the program. Justices rejected arguments that a 2003 law concerning national emergencies gave President Biden the power for the debt relief plan. The president says he has begun working, though, on a different law to give the education secretary the ability to forgive student loan debt.
We will ground this new approach in a different law than my original plan, the so-called Higher Education Act. That will allow Secretary Cardona, who's with me today, to compromise, waive, or release loans under certain circumstances. This new path is legally sound. It's going to take longer, but in my view, it's the best path that remains to providing for as many borrowers as possible with debt relief.
Now, Governor Ned Lamont opposed today's ruling and says the decision will hurt more than 200,000 people in Connecticut who are already approved for the debt relief plan. Our coverage of the Supreme Court decision continues later on at 10:30 in this newscast. Our Verify team will explain the impact of this ruling on you if you have student loan debt.
Tonight at the Capitol, we are tracking several new state laws that will go into effect in less than 2 hours. A new crop of laws officially beginning at midnight. They include early voting in next year's election and adults being allowed to grow marijuana at home. Part of another new law encompasses Connecticut's most significant gun reform since legislation passed a decade ago after the Sandy Hook school shooting. The bill significantly strengthens Connecticut's already strict gun laws. It bans open carry in public and limits gun purchases to 3 per month for most people. And another new law increases oversight of Connecticut's utility companies. The Public Utilities Regulatory Authority, or PURA, will be required to conduct audits for Eversource and United Illuminating on their operations, accountability, reliability, and affordability. It's a topic on The Real Story this Sunday, where we are highlighting some of the new laws going into effect at midnight.
We decided to come together and try to forge a bipartisan bill that ultimately will improve the regulatory framework to protect consumers.
There's not an issue that I've heard more of from constituents than just outrage over high electric rates, high utility rates in general. And when you talk to employers, and particularly manufacturers, it's one of the biggest challenges to doing business in the state is our high rates.
That's just a piece of our conversation with State Senator Ryan Fazio and State Senator Matt Lesser. We also touch on marijuana, early voting, and gun legislation. Join us Sunday morning at 10 a.m. on The Real Story. We sure hope you'll join us. And if you want to learn more about the new laws, you can head to fox61.com or you can download the free Fox 61 News app. You can also text the word LAWS to 860-527-6161 and we'll reply back with a link to that story. Well, new at 10, the 4th of July celebration already beginning across our state, even though it's still June for a couple more hours.
Yeah, Hamden was one place here in Connecticut that had its Independence celebration this evening. Fox 61's Jake Garcia joins us live in Hamden tonight, where the grand finale of the fireworks just finished up. Jake.
Yeah, Brent and Jen, that grand finale just happening about 20 minutes ago. Now, celebrations are already underway across the state, and for the first time since the pandemic, the annual fireworks display in Hamden is back. But no matter what your plans are for the 4th of July weekend, law enforcement across the state urge you to celebrate responsibly.
Really just hanging out with family, barbecues, hopefully the beach if the weather permits.
People all across Connecticut are celebrating this Independence Day weekend in their own way.
Usually we do like picnics and stuff, but this year trying something a little different. Just wanted to get away for the weekend.
Whatever your plans, local and state police are urging everyone to celebrate safely this 4th of July weekend. Police will be increasing patrols to be on the lookout for drunk or distracted drivers. Connecticut State Police wanting to remind drivers to slow down and move over if you see troopers on the side of the road. State Police also urging the public to report any street takeovers during the holiday weekend, but avoid any confrontation. What do you want to do at the beach?
Swim in the water.
And if your plans take you to the water, the U.S. Coast Guard will also be increasing patrols. State officials urging residents to take advantage of public transportation visiting state parks this summer as a way to ensure you get home safely. The people we spoke to today say this holiday weekend is about making memories with loved ones.
No one knows what's going to happen, so I think family is most important, and I think around the holidays is very important as well.
Spending it with people that you care for and having a good time and relaxing and thinking about why we celebrate the 4th of July, our freedoms.
Celebration here in Hamden. There are celebrations happening across the state, and we have a full list for you over on our website at fox61.com. In Hamden, Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Jake, thank you. And as people celebrate the 4th of July, it is unfortunately one of the deadliest holidays on the road. One Connecticut family sharing its story of loss to try and prevent people from driving while drunk. Here's Fox 61's Samaya Hernandez.
As you gear up to celebrate this Independence Day weekend, you might not intend to put others at risk, but the Caplow family wants you to think before you get behind a wheel. Joseph Caplow Jr. could have been a healthcare hero in the trenches when the pandemic hit. In 2019, an intoxicated wrong-way driver robbed him of that opportunity.
Something I think about every single day is the massive loss that the community of healthcare providers, and the future ones that he would have been participating in training are going to lose out on.
Caplow was a 5-decade physician's assistant days away from retirement when he spent 3 months on the receiving end of trauma care at Hartford Hospital.
This is preventable. And why do we see this time and time and time again when we know this is preventable?
Death unavoidable eventually. Driving intoxicated on a Connecticut highway in the wrong direction completely preventable. Caplow's son and namesake now partnering with Hartford Hospital to promote its Not One More campaign to discourage reckless driving, especially Independence Day weekend with record-level travelers on the road.
I have nothing against drinking, just don't get behind the wheel.
Wrong-way fatalities are up 500% in Connecticut. There were 4 in 2021, 23 in 2022. The senior Caplow was killed on Route 9 South. The younger Caplow now following in his father's footsteps as a PA student specializing in trauma care.
Making sure people feel a connection with you and that they won't feel so alone.
Connecticut State Police will also be out in full force, so if you're planning to partake, also have a plan to get home. On our Sky Deck, I'm Samaya Hernandez, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
No doubt, Samaya. Thank you. Everyone stay safe this holiday weekend. All right, a consumer alert tonight. Your electric bill will go down tomorrow if you're an Eversource customer. On average, the standard service rate is dropping from $24.17 per kilowatt hour to $13.82. That's a savings of about 22%. An Eversource spokesperson says depending on how you use your electricity, you could end up saving money each month.
It's about $56 a month they're going to save. But also keep in mind this time of year, customers on average use about 35% more power just to keep cool. So it's also something you have to weigh and measure.
United Illuminating customers will also see their bills go down about 11% starting tomorrow. These lower rates are only in effect until the end of December, and new rates will go into effect January 1st.